Patanjali Yog Sutras, Samadhi Path, aphorism number 5. We discussed that Maharshi Patanjali's intention is to help the souls eradicate physical afflictions, emotional afflictions, intellectual afflictions, and spiritual afflictions. So he says, I will expound on the discipline of yoga, and immediately defines yoga as the control of the perturbations of the mind, and explains that one who is able to still the mind sees the self by realization. In other cases, the mind remains disturbed, and then one assumes, I am the mind and I am the body. So what are these disturbances? He is now going to say. As we did yesterday, I'll say it, you repeat after me. Vrittayaha, Panchatayaha, Klishta Klishta. Translation: the mental states are 5 in number, painful and not painful. So he says that your mental states can vary amongst 5. Why just 5? Why not 10? It is a way of giving knowledge. To make something easier to understand, sections are created. So for example, desire is also a state of the mind. So is anger, so is greed. But what he's talking about here is kshipt, mood, vikshipt, ekagra, and nirodh. 5 states of the mind. Kshipt state is where the mind is completely distracted and dominating the soul. This happens in the bondage of emotions. First of all, we relinquish control over our emotions. I am not responsible. The environment is responsible for my thoughts. And then we permit the negative thoughts to keep on repeating. What happens? They create neural structures. And the consequence of it is those negative thoughts take hold of the person. At that stage, one feels the bondage of emotions. Why do I always worry? Why do I always feel fear? Why do I have this phobia? Extremely competent people. Howard Hughes in the 1950s to 70s, 80s. He was a dominant personality in the US scenario. And he's gone down in history as the 44th wealthiest person ever. He had his own airlines, he was a movie producer, he had hotels. Imagine the extent of his wealth. He went to Las Vegas and stayed in the penthouse suite of the Desert Inn. After a couple of weeks, the manager wanted to throw him out. He purchased the Desert Inn and continued to stay there. It was his hobby to see old movies by TV. And none of the channels in Vegas was showing old movies, so he purchased a channel to fulfill his penchant. But somewhere in his later middle life, he lost control over his thoughts. And he started believing that pathogens are attacking him from the outside, while he believed that he was completely free from them, and then developed a dread. So this is the kshipta state, the complete paralysis of normal thinking by abnormal thoughts. The dread became so strong, he would tell his servants had the instructions that they had to put paper bags around their shoes while walking around and put napkins on their hands while serving him food. Himself, he would keep washing his hands until they bled. If he came to know that any of his household helps had a cold, he would burn his whole wardrobe, thinking there was excessive pathogens in the house now. Finally, he died a complete loner. So this is an example of the kshipta state where the mind, which is supposed to be the servant, is now the dominant player in the personality. We must always be very careful of this mind. It is suggesting thoughts to you, you give it an inch, it will take a mile. The problem is, because we don't see ourselves as separate from the mind, oh, why did I think like this? Why did I think like that? And then the thought becomes even more dominant. So now, the fourth state is mood. Mood is a person where the brain doesn't seem to function much. So external stimuli and inputs don't seem to affect. A person who is unfortunate, genetically, for example, the brain is not very active. So this is the second mental state that Maharshi Patanjali talks about. And the third is very interesting, vikshipt. Vikshipt is distracted. Now, practically everybody experiences distraction. And most of these distractions are from negative thoughts. Worry, hatred, resentment, lamentation. They seem to keep coming on their own. So, the nature of negative thoughts, you are engaging in negative thinking, how to detect it? When you find that your thoughts have these characteristics. The first is automatic. They seem to automatically pop into your head. This person is not liking me, is thinking bad of me. So these thoughts seem to come on their own. Second, they are unproductive. They don't help you in your enthusiasm. They don't help you in your positivity. They don't help you in your productivity. They are only dampening the quality of your life. And the third is they are presenting a distorted perspective of reality. Nobody likes me. My future is dark. This kind of thoughts. So they are distortions of reality. And the fourth is they are intrusive. Intrusive means even if you don't want them, they are coming. Oh, my mind, I don't want to think like this. The mind says, I want you to think like this. And the fifth is, they are justifications. They help you justify why you don't have to be your best self. You know, it is all the fault of the environment. So they provide you justifications for being less than your best. Now, when this kind of a thing happens, this is the third stage. How will you control these thoughts? We will discuss in the sutras that come. The fourth state is ekagra. Ekagra means the mind has now developed focus. A focus provides you with great ability. Look at the sun rays. The sun is radiating billions of watts of energy upon the surface of the earth. But a few watts of light, when focused in the form of a laser, develop such intensity that you can cut diamond with it. That is the intensity that builds up with focus. A second example is of steam. Water vapor rises in the bay, thousands of tons, forms clouds and drifts away. But a little bit of water vapor in the steam engine of the train, when focused on the piston, creates such a force that it has the ability to pull hundreds of tons of steels on the two tracks of the railway. That is the power of focus. So Sri Krishna in the Gita has encouraged Arjun to cultivate focus. He says, Arjun, just like a lamp in a windless place, if there is no wind, the lamp remains stationary. Likewise, the mind of a yogi remains fixed on the Supreme. So the cultivation of focus is the fourth state. Right now, he is not explaining how you will cultivate. He is just mentioning. And the fifth is Nirodh. Nirodh is where you have mastered the mind. So he says that these states are painful and not painful. See, he said the mental states are 5 in number, painful and not painful. But the pain he is talking about is not physical pain. He is talking about the pain of internal unfulfillment, internal dissatisfaction. So, the state of Nirodh or mastery of the mind is not that the outside has become peaceful, but that the inside is peaceful. Despite disturbances from the outside. Sri Krishna says, Dukkheshva nudvignamana sukheshu vigatas priha vitarag bhayakrodha sthitadhir muniruchyate. Arjun, a dheer, one who is established in the self. Such a muni is one who does not become agitated by miserable conditions and does not overly rejoice in worldly pleasures, who is able to take success and happiness in the stride. So, interestingly, spirituality doesn't teach you to how to make the outside peaceful. It says this world will always remain agitated. It is like the person who went to bathe in the sea on Amavasya day. And he sat before the ocean. A few hours went by. A sadhu came and saw him and asked him that, why are you sitting here? He said, I heard on Amavasya day, if you bathe in the ocean, you'll get pious merit. So why are you not bathing? I am waiting for the ocean to become still. But these waves are just coming and coming. The sadhu explained, the ocean will never become still. Likewise, this world, a poet says, न कभी रुकेंगी हवाएं, न कभी बुझेंगे चिराग. चलते रहो, ये तमाशा तो रात भर का है. You look at your own life, you fix your health and a relationship problem begins. You fix that, and the job creates a problem. You fix that, and God sends COVID. That is fixed, and the Ukraine war begins. One after the other, the tamasha continues. So, what is the peace that surpasseth all understanding? That peace is the inner peace. If you are able to do the nirodh of your mind, make it impervious to the externals, then nothing will disturb you. See, we say, Swamiji, so and so is giving me so much of tension. What to do? So I say, look, what does sadhana mean? There's a reason for tension, but you're not feeling tense. There's a reason for attachment, but you are not getting attached. There's a reason for anger, but you're not getting angry. There's a reason for pride. People are praising you, but you are staying humble. So sadhana means that you have now taken control over your mind. And then this mind becomes a power-packed machine. Now you are telling the mind, I wish to be inspired right now. The mind says, yes, boss. Now, if you have not taken control of the mind, then what will happen? Swamiji, today I am not feeling like doing bhakti. People say it in the world also. I am not feeling that love to my spouse nowadays. So I am waiting for the feeling to come back. Are Baba, love is a verb, it is not a happening. You have to create the feelings. Whether it is love in the world or it's love towards God, the idea is to create the feelings. And that will require the mastery. So Maharshi Patanjali says, look, this Mani Ram can be in 5 states.